And I've had good support
from...
from...
Tom Murray. Thanks, Marie. Tom Murray is president of the Irish Pharmacy Union. Tom, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Joe. Good afternoon, Minister, and good afternoon to your listeners.
And is it A or nay to the fiver?
I think, Joe, what we need to look at is that from day one, when the first scheme was announced by Minister Donnelly back in October, the IPU has shown its commitment on an ongoing basis to try to resolve this issue and actually to supply free HRT to women. And we pointed out that it wouldn't be free HRT. And we've been trying to work with the department on a long-term basis. We've had multiple engagements with them, and indeed we have met with the minister, she rightly says, on 2 occasions.
So we are where we are today. We're galloping to June the 1st. We've galloped away from January the 1st, unfortunately. We're now galloping towards June the 1st. What do you think are the prospects that a significant number of pharmacies will participate in this scheme, Tom?
I think the prospects are poor, and the minister knows why, and I'll outline that to you now. I do think it's important to acknowledge the minister.
But what would if the prospects are poor? Okay, the prospects are poor because of the fiver and the 1,000. What would improve the prospects?
Well, the minister has had our proposals on. We've made multiple proposals to the minister through her department, and she has had our most recent proposal, which actually, on our figures based on actual dispensing volumes, will be done within the budget that was procured for HRT. And what the minister is asking us to do is go from taking €10 on a private fee, as she has alluded to, that pharmacists charge up to €10 on a private dispensing fee. And I acknowledge that she acknowledges that we are valued that and we should be charging a dispensing fee, to take a 50% reduction on that in the context of a time when she's also aware that pharmacies have had a 17-year pay freeze. We've 10% of pharmacies losing money. We've had more pharmacies closed for the first time in the history of the state last year than opened. So pharmacy is actually at breaking point. It's at the point where it can't take on any more services, and we've been asked to take on a service at a loss-making manner. And I don't think pharmacists are going to do that.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
so the fiver is
what we do want to do, Joe, with the greatest respect, is provide free HRT and multiples of other services to not just the women of Ireland, but all the patients of Ireland, because we're the most accessible form of healthcare in the country.
What happens, Tom? I know. What percentage of pharmacies does the IPU represent? Do you know?
We represent them all, and I have had meetings.
Every single one.
We have regional committees which meet with all the independent
what
pharmacists,
happens?
I've had meetings with all the groups.
I presume there's no, given the world we live in, I presume there's no punishment on the pharmacy that did break ranks and say, we will accept a fiver, we will accept €1,000 up front because we want to get going on the free HRT from June the 1st. Is there a sanction of can I be expelled from the IPU?
There wouldn't be a sanction, but no pharmacy, as Anya, I think, pointed out to you earlier on, as yourself pointed out, pharmacies are businesses. In my small 3 pharmacies in rural Donegal, I employ 19 people. I can't afford to take on loss-making services for the state. The state already controls over 80% of my business and funds it in a loss-making way. I've been explaining this to the department since July 2023, trying to talk to them about pharmacy fees. And now finally we have a minister who's prepared to talk to us about fees. But unfortunately, they're asking pharmacists to take on a service in a loss-making value that's not sustainable.
Okay, let the minister reply then and take a break.
And that is absolutely, I don't want that. And that is one of the reasons that I made 2 offers. And the second offer was about continuing to charge the dispensing fees that are already being charged, which might be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever euro, and just implement the free medication for women. So that would have meant that the medication was free, but pharmacists would still get whatever dispensing fee they're already charging, and I would have given them €3,000 to sign up to that scheme. So Tom is absolutely right, and I thank him for all his work on this. I want pharmacies to have a lot of different revenue streams. I have a pot of money to uplift the fees. He's quite right to identify that. I would like to see people coming into pharmacies for new things, prescription extensions, which has been possible for a while, to get prescriptions in a new and different way, like has never been done before in Ireland, to be able to go in and be diagnosed by an expert pharmacist for what's called a common condition. And I've said I want to go beyond the list that's already identified. I want want to be, and so that you could go in once, instead of having to go to a GP, wait for an appointment, go to the GP, and then go to the pharmacist. You go into the pharmacist who diagnoses you, you pay a fee for it, grant, and get your medication. And these are new, different forms of revenues for pharmacies that are more sustainable and that are better for patients, and I hope better for pharmacists, because they are using more of their expertise and they need to be supported in that. And that is the body of work that I'm really excited about.
Is there any hope in that, Tom, from the IPU?
In hope in which specifically?
In the minister saying, I'm prepared to look at other services and pay for other services.
We have published a white paper in October. The minister was in November. The minister was actually there in attendance on the day that we published the white paper about all the extra fees, all the extra services we want to provide to the people of Ireland as the most accessible form of healthcare in Ireland.
The IPU are saying, and isn't it a great pity, given the debate in this country and the way HRT, the menopause have become, not just here, but in other countries as well, especially in the last 4 years, it's become part of our daily discourse, that now the IPU and the minister, well, and I take a point, there's other issues that you want dealt with as well. But isn't it a pity that it's now stuck on HRT? That HRT is the battleground. Isn't
Absolutely, and it's not a battleground that we welcomed, and we certainly didn't conflate the two issues. We have been trying to talk to the Department of Health about our vision for future pharmacy services.
Okay, but the issues, but it seems to me now the issues are being conflated, and neither side are going to move.
They're not being conflated by us, Joe, and I have been into the Department of Health over 14 times myself as a member of as the president of the IPU to discuss this with them. And only last month did they agree a framework about what we're actually going to talk about, and that is still.
So you're still open. You're still open to this.
From draft.
You're still open.
Actual framework.
You're still open to discussion. Thanks, Tom. That's
Absolutely.
Tom Murray.
We have made ourselves available always, and will continue to do so. We will always be available for consultation.
Okay, good point. But Minister, you're saying you're appealing directly to pharmacists. Now, I will give you a fiver from per med from June the 1st. And the free HRT scheme is in.
That's exactly, yeah. Just to keep it moving forward.
Have you a minimum number? Like, you can't guarantee anything, can you?
No, I can't. But I mean, at the same time, if you have ministers that are going to sit and do nothing, then nothing's ever going to happen. And I have to try and move it forward. And it's not perfect. And much prefer to have gotten agreement. But that is the way it is, and I have to move forward, Joe.
Okay. And thanks for coming into the studio. That's Minister for Health, Jennifer Carroll McNeil. Joe at RT.ie 51551 is the text.